Hey everyone. Hopefully this works. But so I can see my mic working, which is good. I had to fuck about with Roll20 for a second because it didn't do anything. Hello, welcome back to our Song of Ice and Fire. No, spy game HEXCRAWL campaign. I am very excited to get started again with these fine folks and see what spy shenanigans we get up to. I have a slightly more bare bones skeleton of a season 2 kind of planned out, but we know what we're up. We know what we're about. We know we're up against the cabinet. We're trying to find out what's going on in the big bad social media conspiracy. So on a arguably social media platform and a large multinational corporation, let's explore those themes. Let's chat to who I've still got with me. Let's say a hi to Noir first. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? What's that? Nice. Shit.
Probably gonna use them both today. So that's
we can't hear Noir. We can't hear Noir.
Now we can.
What?
Fucking
Okay.
yes, man.
Oh
No.
god.
It's messed it up.
Sorry.
It's messed it all up. You have to
Jesus
do
is
all
just
of that
striking
again.
hard.
Okay.
No, don't. You're not at your computer. It's on the fritz. You play the mechanic. Isn't that hilarious? You don't have a body. You're being keyed out because you're wearing a green t-shirt. But that's fine. You could be a floating head too.
Ooh, I'll be right back.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. You can be a floating head in a shamrock. It's okay. He's gone. He's away. He's okay. Hi, Susie.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm a little like weird energy today, as friends back here in the green room have found out. I'm kind of low key getting sick, so we're gonna have to deal with whatever the fuck this is today. But I'm excited. Although I do feel incredibly guilty that I did forget Athena's girlfriend's name, which Sam asked for some reason before the show.
No reason.
No reason.
No reason
No
at
reason.
all. Nope.
Yeah. But I do want to shout out this incredible character art we have here with us now. All thanks to the wonderful Lynn, who did an incredible job. I said to him backstage that when I saw my character piece for Athena, I literally screamed and threw my phone at my husband because I wanted him to see how good it was, because it's so good. It's so good.
Awesome. I'm still working out how I can like position it nicely on like the opening holding screen with like you know where there's that artwork. It's normally superhero artwork, right, where they're like bam 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 like next to each other. Like I want something like that because it's super cool and how it's formatted. Yeah, thank you, Lynn. We'll come to you in just a second. We killed the boss for the Valheims.
We did.
The other day.
We completed the Valheim. We did it. We fought the final boss, and there was only a lot of crying and screaming.
It was chaos.
Including my favorite clip I think has ever been on my Twitch channel, where Sam his character was naked, running and screaming, being chased by fireballs from the sky. It was very funny. So that was
You're
good.
welcome.
Yeah. And then ATF is bad tomorrow, and I'm on this week. It's gonna be bad.
You're going to see your ex-fiance's old house.
Yeah.
That you don't know.
Well, I'm going to find out that he's an ex-fiance because he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
And then go back to my birth house to find it's under siege.
This is fine.
Yeah. Great.
Yep. All right. And Pope is back with us again. Hello, my friend.
Hello, great to be here. I am psyched to be back playing my second most villainous character of all time, and just delighted to be back with this wonderful murderous family, and again, thank you, Lynn, for the amazing artwork. I absolutely adore Sherlock, but I have to admit, I let out like a small like squeak noise when I saw Boom Buzzer behind Ope. So that just
It was my favorite.
just great.
Thank you so much.
And I think I found the name because I actually take notes. Not good notes, but I take notes. Cecile Robineau.
Yes, thank you. Oh my god, I knew it began with a C, and I was like,
thanks.
Cecile.
You're welcome. And on that
Don't use
note,
that information, Sam. Thanks. Cool.
Sam hurt her hard, and I'll pass it on to.
It's basically my MO at this point with tabletop games. It's just cause Susie some distress. All right, yeah, no, I'm super pumped too. Absolutely pumped. And then Lynn, just getting in. Welcome back, and thank you from the bottom of everyone's hearts here for this beautiful artwork because it was absolutely lush. Oh, I think you're muted. Have a little look. 6 seasons of it. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Susie. 6 seasons of torture.
6 seasons. 2 years of it, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Hello!
Hey.
Yay!
I must have been muted the whole time. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, sorry.
This is the energy I want. I am my hit traffic and some of my stuff. So this is a good place for it to come in as Nick, just aggravated.
Yeah, totally. We've heard
Already
it's been
murderous.
tech issues and stuck in trafficness. Yeah, it's going well so far. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy, and I was delighted to be able to draw everyone's character and put like little things in there, like Boom Buzzer and the little Xena in there. Yeah, I'm just happy to be back as Nick's the infiltrator slash hired killer is probably the kindest way to describe.
Where did I see? I think I was looking at people's character sheets the other day, and it had something on your bio which I found hilarious. That was it. Specialization: contract liquidator, corporate negotiation. I fucking love that. It's so perfect.
Good resume. Good resume.
Yeah. It's very, very. That is proper business speak for exactly what she does. I love it. Oh my god. Alrighty. All right. Well, let's get a bit of a refresher. I'm gonna semi-improvise a prologue-y, monologue-y thing to kick us off, to remind us of where we are, what's going on, what the world is like, what the campaign is like, and then we're gonna start off with kind of some downtime actions in that we're gonna figure out where each of the characters are. In between the two campaigns, coming off of the mission from Zabrovnia and kind of entering back into their other lives a little bit before we get called back to see what's going on with Havel and the HEXCRAWL people types. All right. Download a whole new bunch of music. But I'm still going to use the Nordic stuff, the Nordic noir stuff that was really, really good last time.
The Nordic me stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Pope, thank you so much. Where do you want your dice to go? Inspiration dice to go.
Considering the emotional trauma that is inbound, we're going to give it to a 3 now.
Okay, cool. You got 1 there, Susie. Well done. Congratulations. Log on. Update. Post. Like. Subscribe. Every click, a data point, and every data point has its price. Your agency was working within a web of mercenary agencies specializing in close access cyber operations and warfare. The boots on the ground of an ever increasingly digital world of espionage. But instead of world governments, most work that you have come to expect actually comes from a cabinet of huge multinational corporations with dozens of subsidiaries who in turn have a dozen brands that do their dirty work without getting blood on their face. At the heart of it, Hex and his monopoly on the social media space. Hardware, apps, AI, everything that you come to know originated with me. Originated with the Olympus scenario. We used a target audience analysis combined with astroturfing to change people's attitudes and prove popular opinion can be shaped. We succeeded immeasurably, and Hex was developed. The Olympus scenario proved that such a psychosocial force like that, imperceptible to the average user, was the most effective way to control behaviors and shape public opinion. It paved the way for what was then to become, as I have found out from my research, Project Obelisk. These algorithms that we created were integrated into Hex, and we spotted it throughout the network. And when we pulled away, Hex did not like that. The cabinet did not like that. And they sent you after me. You are the product. The commodification of personal data has become the core purpose of profit-making in this world, over and above the goods and services of the actual world economies. You will be optimized, you will be predicted, but above all, you will be welcomed to the online platforms that you use. Trust no one, because they are trying to automate us. Trying to create an environment with a flood of information to overload and obfuscate the truth, as opposed to shielding and protecting information. No one can really trust now what they read. The real difficulty is for us to get trusted sources. The environment in which we operate is characterized by high volumes of information and limited levels of user attention and trust. The tools and techniques of computational propaganda are becoming a common and arguably essential part of digital campaigning and public diplomacy. The combination of state surveillance and its capitalist counterpart means that digital technology is separating its citizens in all societies into two groups. The watchers, the invisible, the unknown, and the unaccountable, and the watched. And this has profound consequences for democracy, because asymmetry of knowledge translates into asymmetries of power. And so, Sherlock, where do we find you in the months preceding Operation Bogeyman?
For a short while, it was DC. But where we find Sherlock now is New York City. Big, nasty, populated, and a place where the world watches. And shifting jobs. No longer with the State Department, but still has enough clout to get assignment with the NSA. There's the good assignment in New York City, and then there's his. You have the really nice office building, and then there's, well, I can hear the power station from my office. I can smell the Hudson from my office. There's a nice Starbucks not too far away. It's within 2 blocks. But that's about it. And I am not entirely certain whether or not the "I want to believe" poster that I was sent by a colleague was a joke, an insult, or a threat. That's where we find Sherlock.
And so, as thinking now of your kind of downtime action, what is it that you're up to then in the months after the operation?
There has been one name that Sherlock has been obsessing over since getting back to the States, and that's Smythe. Who is he? Where is he? How do I hurt him?
Yeah.
So it's mostly trying to gather info on whoever this Smythe is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've done a bit of development, bit of adaptation of the downtime activities that you can do. So they go into a bit more detail than just offering some advice generally. So some activities you guys can get up to include buying gadgets on the black market, creating a gadget for folks like Ope. Gather intel is probably along the lines of what you're looking at, and then a crime is the fourth option, key ingredient, and so kind of. Something I was thinking that like these very much kind of they can't be quite general, but they definitely have the feeling of where the campaign is now, where this is all quite kind of underground, Yeah, so let's have a look at gathering intel. Okay, so you can recruit agents of your own, informants that can get you to the top of target organizations, or you could do the legwork yourself, relying on fieldcraft and your own wits. In order to do this, it takes at least 1 week. We've got some time, so that's fine. And it's essentially like running a series of agents for low-level intelligence work. So it's kind of informants and stuff like that, like I said. Or it's investigating the leads yourself. And so that's maybe something that like Nyx does a bit more of. She gets into places, she infiltrates places herself, that kind of thing. You'll need $500 of expenses in order for travel and kind of bribes and stuff like that. Alternatively, you may use some part of your kit, forgery kits or disguise kits, to pass undetected to be allowed to access your targets, your agents. So after a period of time gathering intel, you need to make an intelligence espionage check using the gather intel table. And basically from a kind of 1 to a 21, 1 to 5, you unfortunately don't gain any intel, and you've been made by people that you're trying to spy on, or a third party that may be wrapped up in it. If you score a 6 to a 10, then you've not been able to gain any new intel, but you thankfully kind of keep your cover. 11 to 15, you have made a new contact or gained a new piece of intel. So there really is kind of a couple of things that you could do. Get some contacts or gain some intel. 16 to a 20 gives you 2 of those if you want, and a 21 or more gives you 3 of those. If you get contacts, they're like kind of like a new bond almost. So you'll have some contacts that you share a bond with, and then each of them has a reason to kind of trust you and stuff, and they can be then a network of your informants. Once a contact has been tapped, they go underground and can't be used again until you've made contact once again. Alternatively, it could be that I could bring in an NPC at some point during the kind of, next few sessions, and then you go, that's my contact. And then we can have a fun little kind of improv moment there. But yeah. That's the idea. So, intelligence espionage check. Let's do it.
24.
Boom! 3 new contacts or 3 pieces of intel, and mix and match if you feel like you'd like to do that.
I'm feeling like having the grand slam here. So we'll go with 1 contact and 2 pieces of intel.
All right. Let me pop this down here. All right. What 2 questions would you like to ask? And feel free to crowdsource them a little bit if you'd like, about what kind of intel you need for to get closer to Smythe.
I don't necessarily need to know precisely who he is yet, but I need to know what was his last known location. That's the first bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the second lead that I'm looking for is, what is Smythe's financial tie to the cabinet? That's the second lead I need.
So answer number 1 also links conveniently to answer number 2, because Smythe's last known location was London. Because London, and particularly the city of London, is actually the global capital of money laundering. It effectively is where, even though shell companies and anonymous directors, anonymous board members, anonymous owners of those shell companies all technically for tax purposes reside in the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, places like that, these tax havens. All of that money gets filtered through the City of London. And not only that, the property market within London, and now probably by this point, because we play in the kind of world of tomorrow, basically every greater borough of London to some degree or another, is the most corrupt property market, because it enables criminals, dictators, financial, tax evaders, but no, properly criminals who need to legitimize their money by property and therefore legitimize it. Because now it is a thing, it is not laundered money.
Huh. Okay. So that gives me financial reasons and the location. Now I need a person.
Probably someone connected to that via Wall Street or similar.
Because I'm pulling on the NSA thing, I have a proposal. That and based on Sherlock's previous hijinks. Because he made a big stink last season about layers of things and being quite vocal there at the end before everything would kaboom. I would like the tie to be a investigator with financial oversight for the UK government.
Okay.
Somebody who's got access but not necessarily the ability to enforce anything. This is a glorified pencil pusher.
Okay.
But with an axe to grind.
So this is a financial auditor from Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, which is the tax authority there, or here, with an axe to grind. I am more than willing to take name and gender suggestions from chat to flesh them out a
chat,
little bit.
Please
throw
hit
us
up.
Throw us some stuff our way. But yeah, absolutely, I love that. Financial auditor from HMRC with an axe to grind. Probably someone who has been trying to actually investigate this. They are someone from on the inside of the government, of the civil service, who is actually one of the good people. They are trying to do their best and to do the right thing, and it's because of the system or it's because of their resources they can't do what is plainly in front of them. They kind of know what's going on to an extent. They can see money changing hands. They can see the tax dodging, and because of their resources, because they're under resourced, and because the civil service is genuinely going through some of that, they can't do anything. They have the power. They don't have the means necessarily. So yeah, totally. Someone trying to do the right thing, but just stuck in the system.
And with that, I think I'm going to cash in some vacation days. I hear London's lovely this time of year.
Sure thing. Well, you, I think, would join Nyx. So Nyx, you went straight into trying to research the... Susie now, come on. I saw that. It can be. No. You went straight into trying to research the cabinet. So did you want to gather intel as well, or was there another option that you wanted to pick?
Gather intel, I think in the a more forceful way possible. Find someone, try and get some information.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Where do we find Nyx then? Where is she kind of holding up, and how is she situated herself? She's got multiple cover identities, so
yeah. I think in the downtime she has basically gone from like hotel to hotel, kind of just switching through various covers, just trying to like some leads, somebody that she can kind of press on for any information that she can find while they make up their mind on what they're going to do, or if they decide to for the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, wicked. Roll me intelligence espionage then for the intel gathering. Let me get the downtimes actions back.
11.
11's just enough to have made a new contact or gained a piece of intel. So which would you want to do?
I think I would like intel.
Sure thing.
Names, leads, anything like that.
What kind of question would you like to ask? Or what kind of piece of intel would you like to know about?
I think she would want to know if there's any, not necessarily the names of anybody that's on the council, but any like low-lying attached people, in between people like that.
Okay.
People she can use to get to other people.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay. There is a kind of a close protection officer, private security, that you've managed to track as working some really odd kind of patterns, travel patterns and shift patterns. You've worked this out through just checking through private security firms and of what you know of them. And what's really got you spooked is you really can't quite figure out who they are actually protecting. They seem to do maybe a bit of recon work before maybe someone's visit. But then you can't quite piece what the trip is actually about, or there's a mix of people that could go on it. What is interesting for you about those trips, about that recon work, about this non-person they seem to be protecting, is that their work seems to keep coming up before the UK government is due on like a trip, or their work is somehow related to then government activity, meetings or events or press events, anything like that. But like I said, then it's not like they are with someone, or that you can't piece together like who they're meant to be protecting.
Yeah. But they're part of like the band, so to speak.
Yeah, to a degree. Like they're probably like hired or something similar. And that is the interesting thing.
Yes.
The UK government would use the police service for close protection, because that's exactly how we operate. But to have private security is a little strange.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's as good as finding someone, because as long as we know where the location is roughly and where they're kind of buzzing about, should be pretty easy to figure out, pinpoint a person after a little more scouting out.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Ope, where do we find you during your downtime?
So Ope is in Utah, trying to pick up the trail of where give me just a second, pull up my notes of where Olivia was stashed. In the last campaign, we sent her off to the States to get her protected. She was a reporter that we tapped for assistance, and she ended up getting in a little over her head. And then UMAD made note to yank her. And so Ope is just here kind of picking up the trail, trying to find where they may have stashed her.
Cool. All right. So for you, is that another gather intel, or is that because there are some, buying black market gadgets, creating a gadget options for you there as well?
It's going to be one. So downtime is you get to pick 3 of these, correct?
Well, I mean, I was only going with 1 for each person, but yeah, we could do a couple little things.
Because I was just going to say he's doing nothing but gathering intel and building something big.
Cool. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, gather that intel for me. This is a intelligence espionage check.
I'm not too terrible at that. Okie dokie. Gav intelligence. So that would be info tech. Oh no, you said espionage, right?
Intel espionage, yeah, literally the skill.
Yeet. 19.
19 is a good number. You can make up to 2 contacts or gain up to 2 pieces of intel.
So as Ope has also taken a new class, which gives him contacts. So I'm just going straight for the information.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What questions do you have for me?
Where was Olivia seen last? And in what direction? Where was Olivia seen last, and who was she seen with? Those are the 2 questions.
Olivia, and this stuff is quite obscured through, weirdly, commercial invoices and customs records. But I'm grabbing a little of my real world knowledge of the little real world knowledge I have of US.
I was just gonna say I'm
transport networks.
Real world knowledge too with procurement, so it's just like okay.
She was last seen by a customs officer. In the big intrastate cargo, train cargo depot just outside Chicago, which is one of the I believe, at least from my knowledge of international freight and logistics, one of the larger kind of intersections for the rail network.
Yeah.
And she was seen heading west. She was on a westbound train. She was seen with a bunch of shady characters who will have had fake passes and stuff like that. But it was strange for the customs officers. What you uncover is essentially a lot of bribery, because they didn't take a passenger train, didn't take a passenger train carriage. They essentially had a cargo container, made up so that they could sit in it for a few days. So it had enough to have, some pretty uncomfortable bunks and stuff like that. And so you can dig this stuff up. So even though the commercial invoicing, the logistics forms, everything like that looks fairly legit, it's not very watertight. And when you dig into, with your technical knowledge, little hex chat conversations between friends, because people talk and they're just like, you never fucking guess, man. Like today was just, it was crazy. Something's going on, some weird shit's going on. And so it was, essentially just Just shady agents. Dark sunglasses, dark trench coats types.
Like I just imagine him at the laptop going, damn, I wish Adrena was here. All right, fuck. And he's going to after that file all the information away. He's gonna try and locate one of the shady agents. But before that, we just see him going to his garage and sliding under a vehicle, welding some more. And yeah, that's over.
Cool. All right. What are you making? I'm interested.
So I am having him make that drone he's always wanted. The one that he can fly in.
How big are we talking? Because Boom Buzzer is a kind of, personal size.
Right. I'm looking it up. He may not be able to do it, but I just want him working on something massive.
Okay. Yeah.
I am pulling up the stats now because I thought I looked it up and he could, but I'm double checking first.
It's all right. Let's you have a look. We'll pop back.
Yep.
Let's have a chat to Athrena. Where do we find Athrena?
Athrena stayed in the sort of ex-Soviet bloc sort of area of the world that we were in. She's not in Zubrovnia, but she's in like one of the nearby places where there's still a lot of conflict. There's still a lot of tension. And she is working
east and south.
Yeah, a bit more further east, maybe a little bit more northern too, a little place a bit more remote, but where people are less likely to poke around and be like, who are you? What are you doing here? Isn't there an Interpol notice with your face and name on it,
Yeah. Didn't you mention
she's there.
Médecins Sans Frontières to me last
time?
She's
working as a medic with MSF, Doctors Without Borders. She has decided that she's not much of a fighter, having been in several fights and having a building dropped on her. She wants to brush up on her medical skills because, woof, there were a couple of times.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of times where she could have used them.
Yeah. I had an idea about this yesterday, actually, that you are, I think, working at a camp, pretty much a refugee camp, that is catering to climate refugees heading north. And so you're having to deal with a lot of different people with a lot of different languages from a lot of different cultures, and offering what medical assistance you can. But it's a sweltering summer. One that the globe is having to get used to. And so it's even worse to the south, as millions of people starting slowly to head towards the poles, mile by mile. But during your downtime there, what do you want to actually get up to?
Do a crime, Sam.
You want to do a crime? Cool.
Yeah.
What's this crime, and more importantly, what are the stakes of this crime? Because you can essentially pick a difficulty class to try and hit. So I'll go through this with you just quickly. You must spend at least a week and at least $250 gathering information on potential targets before committing the intended crime. You've got to make a series of checks with the DCs for all checks chosen by the character according to the amount of profit sought from the crime. The chosen DC can be 10, 15, 20, or 25 for all the checks. Successful completion of the crime yields an amount of dollars as shown on the loot value table, which is on the thing for you there as well. To attempt the crime, you've got to make 3 checks. Dexterity, stealth, or intelligence infotech. Dexterity using thieves' tools or intelligence using hacking tools.
Okay.
And your choice of intelligence espionage, wisdom perception, or charisma deception.
Okay.
If none of them are successful, you are caught and jailed. If you've got to either pay bail fees equal to the profit of the potential crime, or stay in prison. If only one check is successful, the heist fails, but you escape. If 2 checks are successful, the heist is a partial success, netting you half the payout. If all 3 checks are successful, you earn the full value of the loot. We are talking $500, 10 grand, 50 grand, or 100 grand.
Okay, so one of Athrina's things is that she hacks and she steals as a form of activism, targeting the ruling classes. Now, if she's down on the ground seeing all these poor people that are having to, uproot their entire lives because of a climate crisis, she might get a little angry about that and want to, say fuck you to the big corpos that are ruining the planet that we all live on. So I think she's gonna do like a little wombo combo of some identity theft, because she does need some identities, because aforementioned Interpol notice, and a little bit of corporate thievery. Fuck it, we're swinging for the fences. We're gonna do it.
All right, we're gonna commit 2 crimes. I want to check in the book whether I actually wrote down how much a cover identity costs, because I think it's in the equipment list, weirdly. Clothing, documents. Maybe a cover identity as a gadget. I feel like it might be a gadget. Vehicles and support. What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm just totaling it up, and I'd have to get like a nat 20 to hit the DC.
First thing,
so maybe
we can break a thing out of jail.
Maybe just like a
God,
heist.
That's where we start. I'm trying to break you out of jail.
Let's bump it down 1 level.
We have
$200. Okay, so with a DC 10, you could steal an identity.
Cool. Okay, that's easy.
Okay, crime number 1.
Identity theft.
Identity theft. Hope you're right. No, chill out of the gate. Let's go.
I'm praying to God you don't roll a 1. Just off the
Please
bat.
don't. Please.
You got 3 chances to not get caught.
Oh boy.
Okay, right. So we're using, first one is gonna be
Dexterity stealth
infotech.
or intelligence infotech.
Infotech. All day. 21.
Good.
21.
Dab.
First
All right.
success. Dexterity using thieves' tools or intelligence using hacking tools.
I'm gonna hack.
Okay. So you're going to use your intelligence. You're going to add your proficiency bonus.
12.
12 is a success.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just.
Yep. And then we're gonna...
your connection and equipment out here isn't so great.
No, it's a little spotty, What are you going to do?
Thought you DC'd there, but it's okay.
Had to go smack the router.
And player's choice of intelligence espionage, wisdom perception, or charisma deception.
Okay, let me look what I've got.
How do you want to approach the final thieving? Intelligence espionage is probably gathering their data, right?
Yeah, and she's been pretty hands-off hacky. She's not like, it's not someone on the camp whose identity she's been stealing. This is like somewhere else. So yeah, let's do an espionage for this one to gather their data.
France or something.
Yeah. 21.
Nice. That was a good modifier too. It's like as good as your infotech and your hacking tools. Nice.
Yeah, there are other numbers other than 1 and 2, right? You don't have to just rearrange them.
Absolutely. All right, cool. You grab yourself a new Western European cover identity. So grab yourself a fake French name.
Cool. All right.
And you got the papers, you got the stuff, and they're all legitimate. The only issue is that there's someone else walking around with exactly the same stuff.
A poor person.
Yeah.
Doppelgangers. It happens all the time.
Your hex device now. Your hex device you can now log in as that person, but
Ooh.
so your hex device will recognize you as your new cover identity. However, as I've mentioned before in the game, and because we've had this this like hex device thing available to you as like a piece of equipment. Remember, we've got the software. It's got like it's got the guidance feature, so you can add a D4 to your checks if you're using it. It's got a dropship function where you can literally get stuff like bought and sent to you within like a few hours, that kind of thing. But its default, so you can access your account supplying one of 3 pieces of information: biometric facial and iris recognition on devices with front-facing cameras, a thumbprint, or if needed, a unique password with 2-factor authentication. Biometrics are the default option, so that you've got to work out some workaround to get a hex device to function as this cover identity. How do you reckon you'd go about that? What do you reckon you want to do?
I think she bypasses the initial biometrics need with the 2FA because she's gotten all this poor woman's identity stuff.
Yeah.
So she gets like her reset and stuff like that. The biometrics though. Ooh, what? That would be extensive. What if this person has some sort of government or security job where you have to give up your fingerprints, or they're an immigrant? Because I had to give up my fingerprints to come to Canada. My fingerprints are somewhere on a file, and that's how I got her biometrics. And every time I go to log in as her, I just hit like a little subfolder which like scans her fucking fingerprints in instead of mine.
I like it. Roll me infotech.
Infotech. Boom. It's
Beautiful.
20.
All right. Okay. Good. It sticks. So it's good. It stays. Yeah. You've made a good workaround. So you know.
Cool.
You know, it's bonjour so and so.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to come up with a really crummy assistant for you now that's going to annoy you. Okay.
Oh, why?
Hey, listen.
Oh,
yes.
Navi.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can picture it now, right? We're in the middle of an infiltration, crawling through a fucking air duct, and Athrina's phone just goes, "Hey, listen!" And the guy's like, "Huh?"
Little notification thing. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you've also got access to her hex profile, so it's like everything. So you know, it's not just that you've basically got her Facebook. You've got her purchase history on stuff. You've got her trends. In a way, she is a perfect case study for how hex is working on people. Because you have that objectivity where you can see what's happening to her and you are not being duped yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think that's partially why too, that she would capture that profile, because it's really handy.
I haven't written it up yet. You've also got the hex eye still.
I do.
You can see the trends. You can see what's going on. It basically, from my, I haven't written anything down yet, but from kind of my hack point of view, I think basically that's what it does. If it enables you as a piece of software to extract the trends and the astroturfing that's going on, and to figure out where the deception is being had. Something like that, you know.
Cool.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And you want to do some. So you guys have to work. You have to work without an agency support. You guys are going to have to work off your own speed, underground, all that kind of stuff. You're going to need some money. So I'm assuming as well you want to do a little bit of a robbery with your little With your little lappy, lappy top.
Instead of corporate thievery, because I did run the numbers very quickly and I probably can't do it and I would go to jail. We'll just do some like low level, and it's also kind of probing them too. Their systems. So there is a little smash and grab, but it's also like, what are you working on? Huh? Can I get in there? Yeah, a little testing of.
Yeah. So all right, petty crime is $500. A robbery is 10 grand. A heist is 50 grand. But that's 10, 15, and 20 in terms of DC.
Yeah.
You're worried about the corporate thievery, which is 100 grand, and that's 25 as the DC. So I think, you're worried about that because with your infotech, you could be rolling 19s and 20s pretty much consistently.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
It's probably heist or robbery, basically, is your options.
Yeah. I'm honestly leaning heist.
Of course you are. Risk and reward.
Exactly. I'm getting up there with the big numbers.
You have an inspiration.
Yeah. Fuck it, let's do a heist. Why not? Let's do it.
All right. So, in your downtime, in your little tent on your bunk with your laptop, getting what signal you can from a little satellite network, and a temporary phone antenna that you've got going on. Hex provided, of course, part of their humanitarian division. Yeah. So what's Sebastian Pezos's thing? I was very proud of this Emergence. That's what it was.
Emergence.
His company name. Fucking yes. Makes me sick in my mouth every time I hear it.
I hate it so much because I can see the corpo advertising for it.
But 100%. Here at Emergence.
I'm just imagining Millie just reading out the most bland corpo fucking VA.
Don't make me spaff real money on getting Millie to do a stupid corporate Emergence ad for us. Oh god. Right. It's heist time.
Heist.
Hacker fingers working hard at your bunk against probably another hacker or whatever. I don't know. Right. Okay.
Yep.
Same checks. DC is 20.
Okay. All right.
One
just
successful
to refresh
check you
my
make.
Mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Do we announce inspiration before we use it, or if we get a bad roll, can I be like, ugh?
No, before you use it.
Okay. All right.
Because otherwise it's a re-roll. It's not a re-roll. You roll 2 dice and you pick the best, so you have to say beforehand.
Okay.
Them's the rules.
All right.
So, DC is 20. No, if you fail all of these checks, you straight to jail.
Go to jail.
We are the Parks and Recs meme. Straight to jail. If you succeed 1, then you don't get any money, but you manage to get out of the system before you're found.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I tell you what. This may affect your decision of which level to go at.
Uh-oh.
If you fail all checks, I don't know why I'm setting myself up for this. We won't just be like, oh no, she's in jail now. I will send people after you. Probably this session, at the camp or whatever. I will send people after. I will send Interpol after you.
Okay.
Oh, Interpol. Okay.
Let's fucking do it. Let's go.
You want to go with corporate thievery?
No. With
a heist. Okay. You're just going to go with a heist.
I'm not suicidal, Sam.
No, okay. Right, cool. I don't know. You
all right.
Yeah, if you go corporate thievery, you're going to get people like Nyx after you. That's not gonna...
Exactly. Corporate
As
negotiation.
previously discussed, if I stand next to Nyx when she's punching someone else, I will probably die with my 3 hit points.
Yeah.
How would it be if Nyx was the one that took the contract not knowing, oh, this is awkward?
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. So first roll, infotech.
DC 20.
Okay, I'm gonna just use my inspiration for the first one. My daily, because I've already rolled a bunch of 20s, so I know what roll 20's like.
This roll 20s. Oh my god!
Good choice. 1 success. Interpol's not coming after you. It's all good.
Fuck. Okay. Next one, hacking tools.
Yeah.
Let's go. 23.
Okay, good.
You've bagged half the money. You're 25 grand up.
Right. And then the final one is espionage, right?
Well,
espionage.
oh shit, I'm looking at the
Perception
wrong thing. Wisdom, perception,
or charisma.
deception. How I think this plays out: intelligence, espionage. That's about gathering information, isn't it? So it's about making connections with all the little bits of money that are being hidden places and filtering them towards you. Wisdom, perception is about, you know, finding the detail in the accounts, finding that password, finding that profile, finding that account number, and getting it and grabbing it. I think charisma, deception is a fucking spoof call. It is the hello Microsoft calling, you have a problem with your computer type thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm probably gonna go espionage for it. Because I think, I mean, so my deception is a 5, so I could do that, but my espionage is a 6. So I want to squeeze as many potential numbers out of this as I fucking can. I'm gonna be honest.
I believe in you. So you're in like the back end of the system, and you're grabbing the little.
I can't look.
The little bitcoins.
Oh.
Okay.
Not quite.
It must have been
high numbers.
It must have been the firewalls that get you. But just before you have to log out, you've already filtered 25 grand into an account you can access.
Sweet.
Mrs. Cover Identity in France is 25 grand richer suddenly.
She doesn't know. It's great.
No idea.
It's good. I've been looking at her spending record. She could afford to spend less on croissants. So
never spend less on croissants.
No.
Okay. Cool. Let's go back around because I gave you a couple of things. Ope, what's this thing you want to make? What's this thing?
So I am using my mechanic gadget points for a armored van.
Ooh. So look here, creating a gadget, because you might be able to do this. In addition to the appropriate tools for the item to be crafted, the character needs raw materials worth half the item's selling cost. A gadget takes a number of weeks equal to its caliber, while modifications to standard equipment take 1 week. Let's have a look at this. So the armored van is something out of the book, I think, right? Vehicles and support.
It is.
Oh, those gadgets. Vehicle profiles. Here we go. A van. Armored truck. Caliber 2. So what we're looking at is normally 72k. So we're looking at halving that, which is 36. So you're gonna need $36,000 of.
I've got 10k on me now. So I think I need to do a crime.
You probably need to do a crime.
I need to crime it up.
All right. What are you gunning for? 10 grand is a robbery, 50 grand is a heist. That's DC 15 and DC 20, respectively.
And corporate is DC 25.
Yep. And that is 100 grand.
Okay.
The way I picture this, 100 grand is like you're robbing a military somewhere. You're robbing the US military. 50.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that much. You just have to have a shell company to do that.
Yeah. It's a pity you don't have a shell company. Yet.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If robbing the 100K is like robbing the military, we could potentially say that's the government, right?
Yeah.
Like a government server?
Yeah.
perhaps. That's the reason that I
Where
asked.
you have reroll intelligence saving throws while using hacking tools or computers that use a government programming infrastructure. So there are some firewalls that make you roll a saving throw, which that is good for.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna do Heist.
Seeing as I'm feeling generous and it's the first session, I would let you roll with inspiration on an infotech check. I tell you what. I would let you roll with inspiration on that final check with intelligence espionage. Intelligence espionage.
I have an inspiration currently. That's 2 rolls with inspiration, 1 without.
Fuck it, let's go.
What loot level are we talking about here?
We're talking about 100
grand. 25. The DC is 25. If you fail all of these checks, the military's coming after you.
Yep.
I'm scared of roll 20 at this moment.
I'm terrified.
And the thing is, I know roll 20 hates me.
It's waiting. It's waiting for.
It's been waiting for this moment in my life. All right, here we go.
Are you rolling with inspiration first of all? The first roll. Okay, so you're using your inspiration die from the frame in chat.
Yep. Yeet.
There are no more after this.
Oh boy.
23 is a miss.
This is not good.
Oh no, roll 20, no.
This is not good already.
Roll number 2 is dexterity using thieves' tools or intelligence using hacking tools.
I had to roll a 19.
I have to roll a 19. I didn't math this before I did it. Okay. All right. It's just the military. It's no big deal.
Just.
Okay. Oh, guys, I'm not. What were my 2 options?
We'll break you out.
You can roll dexterity using thieves' tools to literally rob the armored truck that you want, or intelligence using hacking tools to program the truck to drive to you.
I'm gonna use intelligence because that's I'm a little bit better at that.
You have proficiency with hacking tools, don't you?
I do. Mm-hmm.
You can add your proficiency bonus.
Okay. Here we go.
I believe in you.
Oh, help!
Oh.
I should have went with the heist. I'd be killing it.
One more.
I hate that it's that close.
You are going to roll with advantage on this next roll if you take intelligence espionage as your choice.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's wisdom perception or charisma deception.
Oh
my god. Oh no. Which military?
All right. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be robbing this like beautiful high-tech van from?
I'm in Utah. There are tons of bases there.
Is it like what? Is it like Homeland Security? Is it like?
If I may,
please.
So, DARPA has a lot of testing grounds in Utah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot of money being funneled to sections of Utah.
Gotcha.
To pay for all the things.
Yeah.
So, and also knowing.
Well, am I taking the van or am I taking the money? I don't.
I have a feeling that you are trying to take, because this is DARPA, one of the deliveries of diamonds to one of the testing facilities.
That sounds cool. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Diamond heist. You were committing a diamond heist.
Oh yes.
Against the U.S. government.
Gay. Well, looks like I'm about to serve the French military, French Foreign Legion again. Okay, so what happens?
So I'm trying to piece this together. Your cover identity was also police officer, wasn't it? Which is what you were playing around with in Utah.
I am Deputy Lucian Lawless.
That you are. Because you I mean, you didn't resolve any of these checks. Okay, so we are
a single one of them.
not a single one. Okay, that's just car chase. Where are we?
I think now would be a good time to ask if I was able to smuggle my grenade launcher.
I will let you smuggle your grenade launcher.
Oh. So we're dealing with a shootout.
We are
with the United States government.
We are gonna cut to Ope as overturned on the side of a dirty Utah rural street or rural road, and diamonds like cascaded all along the floor. To two Humvees coming up behind you, having parked up quickly. Doors fly open. Soldiers with rifles pile out of the passenger doors, and you hear that characteristic cinematic click of a round going back, and they shout at you to freeze, hands in the air, don't move. You do.
I think this is the coolest way of all time to get my ranger levels. Because I am going to put my hands up in the air, and as part of being a ranger, I do have I have connected, which says at second level you've established a network of international contacts that are available to complete favors for you or provide you information and equipment once per mission. And you can call your contacts to provide you with one piece of equipment, caliber one vehicle, or complete a single task, or to give you information on one local person.
Okay.
And I think the task that I am going to give my new contacts via my glasses is could you get these guys off of me? Could you get their attention elsewhere?
Okay. The soldiers slowly start approaching you. A couple walking towards you, with a couple still staying by the Humvee. If your arms are up and you're not moving anywhere, do you offer any resistance when they try and arrest you?
The second he makes it about halfway. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm getting myself to commit to how bad this is about to go. Oh, give me just a second. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Take your time.
I am going to I am going to have Boom Buzzer drop a white phosphorus right in the Humvee.
Okay.
Season 2, ladies and gents. Season 2.
This is where we kick off.
It, like, as he's coming towards me, I'm like, I think you got bigger problems. And with the plan is in conjunction with what Boom Buzzer's about to do and what my contacts are about to do, I need them to scramble.
Sure. All right. What do you need Boom Buzzer to roll? Let me have a look. See. We did have a handout for Boom Buzzer. You got your character sheet anyway. Oh, maybe not. Did I archive that? Why did I archive it? That was dumb. There we go. Alright. Being gadgets now towards the top. Alright, the drone shoots a white phosphorus micro grenade within 50 feet. Upon impact, every target within 10-foot blast radius must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 fire damage. So, centering on the Humvee, this is going to target 2 of the 4 soldiers approaching you now. They're all going to make dexterity saving throws. The DC 15.
Okay.
So that's 1 down.
Oh, no.
Let's roll for lols for the other 2. It's more narrative scene anyway. A 10 and a 17. And so 2 of them catch on fire. But at least their clothes do, and the white phosphorus is burning through their vests and such as they start to scream and scatter. There's a couple of errant gunfire that just goes off into the sky as the other 2 have to dive for cover. Literally just dodging out of the way of any of this kind of white smoke, white powder that's falling from the sky. They're looking up, trying to see what dropped it, because you didn't really move much. So they're just unsure what the hell is going on. They're radioing their back for backup. What do you want to do next?
I would like to hit the electromagnetic pulse to take out their communications, and the whole time I'm doing all this, I'm just going, gotta keep 1 jump ahead of the law, man. 2 jumps ahead of the sun. I'm still the only one I can't afford. That's everything.
And this blue, like, electric pulse whoops across the Utah desert brush, I guess, and they're clicking their radios, but then nothing is now working. Nothing is going through. All right, they're going to take a couple of shots at you as it's all gone a bit south. Just the 2 that were managed to dodge out of the way, as this has just all gone completely south. You've obviously got some kind of advantage over them that they need to fell you now. So I'm just going to do a couple of shots. A 7 is a miss, so again that's the kind of fire off into the sky, and then a 22 against your AC.
Yeah, that hits.
With, say, a bit of cover from the van. Like 2 extra AC. Your AC is not 20, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a 15.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So this 11 piercing damage is going to whip past your head, just barely avoiding you, as they're a good shot, and if you hadn't ducked, they would have popped you. So they're shooting at you. He's ducking from, like, he's got a tiniest bit of rock cover just by the side of the road. Okay, you've got diamonds have spilled out onto the road. This van is giving you some protection, some cover. If you can duck behind it, you can get full cover. And these boys are still scattered.
I think it's time to whip out Chakram for the first time in this campaign, where you just see he just puts together this sniper rifle that has a chakram attached to the side. He's just gonna go yee.
I can imagine for Ope, it's like for somehow almost like a laptop gun, maybe some super little technical thing that he can clip together in about a second. It's all just made up of bits, and you're just like click, 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 and we've got a sniper rifle suddenly.
I don't know if you've seen Suicide Squad, but he just kind of like takes out a tube and if it comes to
yeah, that's so cool.
Right. And that's a 19 to scope the soldier that shot me.
Yep. Yeah. You see the dust ping off of the rock that he's hiding behind. It ricochets into him. You need to roll me the damage there.
and that's gonna be 16.
Nice.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, nice. He is wounded and bleeding out. He's still active. He's not incapacitated yet, but he's holding that rock and just trying to duck behind it as another soldier exchanges fire back towards you for a 16. Give yourself a couple of AC with the van, though.
Yeah, so that will miss.
Nice. So like pings off the armored van, ricochet off into the brush, and you're doing your best to like duck behind cover before you whip round for a 180 scope. I don't know where the opposite of a 360 no scope is, or a 180 no scope. You know, whatever you want to do. And there was only a second one. Yeah, he was kind of like wounded and falling towards the ground. What do you want to do next? You do have some diamonds there if you want to grab some in Scarpa. I'll give you like D6 diamonds for each action of like grasping you want to do.
So in his head, if he domes these two soldiers, he's got more time to just take more diamonds. Because he thinks he knocked out their communication. So and also he's depending on his contact to reroute the backup. So he's just gonna finish off these two and then take as much as he can and get out of there. And
right.
I think in order to do that, he is and this is just for flavor, he presses a button on his goggles, on his glasses, and Boom Buzzer gives him like a trajectory for a shot. It's like, that works.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 26 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. We should make that a thing, though. That's super fun.
It's just like the first scene with Deadshot in Suicide Squad, where it's just like, if I shoot that thing, my bullet's gonna ricochet and hit him in the head, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's not like so clearly spelled out in kind of rules or whatever, but Boom Buzzer has a camera, so if you're ever not sure where... I hope now has VATs, yeah. Where if you're not ever sure like where somewhere is, or they're behind cover, or if you're trying to get eyes on them, you just send Boom Buzz around behind enemy lines, and you've got eyes on them, and then you can scope them out and just they got a peek, and then that's it.
It's even better because you can actually have Boom Buzzer do things like account for wind, moisture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boom Buzzer's basically acts as his spotter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So are you shooting the one that you've just wounded? Or are you shooting the other one?
I'm shooting the one that was wounded because I'm trying to brain him.
Okay, yeah, you do. There is a out the back of his head, and he falls backwards onto the desert.
I'm just gonna duck back down under the truck and go, "How we doing? We still alive over there?"
Your reply is more gunfire. Now there's covering fire, so you can just hear like ricochet after ricochet of rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds being piled onto the armored vehicle as you duck back round into full cover, trying to avoid them. You can hear maybe, or you can see in a picture-in-picture in your goggles from Boom Buzzer that they're trying to move round now, and they're trying to flank you. One of the Humvees has started circling around very slowly, and it's circling around to your right, to your left-hand side now that you back up against the truck. But as you're looking out to your right-hand side.
I'm just gonna call out to my contact, "Move your ass! It's getting hot in here."
There's another. Let's do another little whip of gunfire with. Why do I keep closing these guys? Nope. As they move around. Ooh, 20. Even with the cover, I think that's going to be a hit. It's 15 piercing damage. As maybe this is like a flesh wound, like a graze to an arm or a leg, that just has you shaken up.
I'm very glad I took levels in Ranger, because as a mechanic that probably would have killed me. It's like, fuck.
Hero wound, yeah, totally. What's the next move? There is a little like call in your ear. There is a little message in the top that says inbound, imminent.
All right, in that case, there's one soldier that's making their way to me, and the Humvee is flanking on the other side. You know, I just kind of want to finish this. I am going to have. Oh, God damn it! I'm gonna have Boom Buzzer drop its second payload, and then it's out.
Okay. Is it more white phosphorus? Is there anything else? White phosphorus. Okay. There's another. You hear that familiar little kind of clink as it throws it out, and then that little kind of almost ceramic crash onto the ground as more of this white phosphorus kind of sprays out into tiny little clouds and little shoots of gas. All right, some more dex checks. Right, there's going to be 2 from the Humvee that's been circling you. A 19, a 24.
Ooh.
They managed to just get some cover from the Humvee, but now I think the Humvee is fucked. Like, it's starting to burn through that, and it's starting to get into the engine. You hear the splutter as it dies before another vehicle coming up right from the rear, from behind of these guys, screeches up and skids in the dirt of the road before a single door goes and then crunches as it's closed, and you hear the shout, a familiar shout, a friend, your contact, shouting orders for the soldiers to stand down. We jump cut to a slam of folders on a desk in a porter cabin on like an airbase near on DARPA somewhere, with I'd say like just a uniformed, but with just it's the simple kind of trousers and shirt or top rather than any kind of webbing or anything like that. Buzz cut soldier boy giving you the I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. Well,
Oh, sorry. One more time. Please, my sound cut out for a second.
Oh, he's just like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. I know things get a little intense. Look, you call me when you need something. I call you when I need something. That's the nature of our relationship, and it's been a good one for the most part. Sometimes I can do this.
People are beginning to talk. You're gonna have to leave Utah.
Funny enough, I was just on my way out. Thank you for the cover. Thank you for getting me out of that, and keep the schematics that I drew up for you. Those are yours. And if you and your people ever need anything developed under the radar, I'm still here for you. I appreciate your loyalty. Any chance any of those diamonds he
just slowly shakes his head. God damn it. No.
I didn't think so. Look, I know it doesn't make sense. I know that I look like the bad guy, but there is a bigger bad guy out here. And I'm trying to deal with them.
He puts his hands on his desk, leans closer into you as he pushes down on his desk, and he says, I want to believe. I do. But you're gonna have to give me something.
I'm going to give you something, but I need it to be you that has it, not the military, not the US, just you. So that you can understand the scope of what we're dealing with here. Give me your phone.
hands you his phone.
I take the phone and
He sits
I
back.
open up the window and I throw the phone out of the window. And I'm assuming like it's just field out there, and like I literally throw it so that it's far away from us. And then I go to the
And imagine you like you proper like I was about to say bowl it. That's a very British term.
Yeah.
You really like baseball fucking curveball that out, and it like flips and flips and flips, and like you've got to almost run up to the window, and there's that moment where he like gets above his desk and he runs up to the window just to get to the frame, and he's like hey, and he kind of you're both up kind of against this open window.
I immediately walk to his desk and I just go, keep your eye on the prize. And then I put in the command, the phone.
Yeah. There's this, because it gets so far, there's this crack of it. And it's almost like a kind of melt and a flame rather than a proper like smash explosion. But there's this intense overheating of the battery that just fries it. What does this look like to him? Because I think you're trying to prove roll me persuasion. I say what, roll me persuasion, because I think I think he could be a bit like you've just performed some party trick and you've just done something. But if you want this to be like, yeah, like I think from what you show him, it's actually quite a simple, weird little bug that you can replicate on a hex app of some kind.
Ope is just gonna look at him and go, it'd be scary enough if I told you that I could do that to every phone in the country, in the world. But that would be a pleasant dream. I can do that to any device that has the Hex operating system on it, to any civilian, any military, any political entity at any time, any place. And there are people that know that this exists and they are trying to get it and take advantage of it. You ask me why we should have this relationship. You think that at some level that the power balance is skewed in your favor. I could have killed you or anyone you loved at any point in time upon our meeting. I still can. I recommend not getting a hex phone, but if you stand next to somebody with a hex phone, I can still kill you. That's what we're dealing with here. And I just need a couple of fucking diamonds to go against the people that want to use this liberally. Because that out there, that was a mistake. A battery exploded. They'll put out a recall and it'll be none the wiser. You just had the unlucky phone at the unlucky time. We all have a gun to our head and no one knows it.
He looks really uncomfortable, and then he just says, "Get out of my office."
That's fair. But piece of advice, get a flip phone. And he just walks out.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, but you gotta leave Utah. Sorry.
That's fine. I'm going to Chicago, baby.
Well, maybe we're gonna get a band back together very, very shortly. Lynn, is there anything you want to do with Nyx as like a quick second action?
You know what? I will also let's do a crime.
Yeah, infiltrator doing the crime. This is it. You watch. She's gonna knock you all out the park now.
Show us how it's done.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. What DC are you aiming for? Petty crime is DC 10. Robbery for 10k is 15. We could go for DC 20. Heist for 50 grand.
Let's go for a robbery.
Okay, 10 grand. Nice.
Yeah.
Some little spending money for a mission. DC 15. Okay, first check, dexterity stealth or intelligence infotech, depending on your approach.
Oh, I think it's going to be stealth. The infotech's all right, but stealth is...
This is a real robbery. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. She probably like lined up someone that was along the trail and just... We're going to do a little bit of a smash and grab maybe on this.
You're in London, right? So this is like this is like robbing a jewelry store in like East London somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that expensive, but if you walk away with a bunch of stuff, with enough stuff, you'll make your money.
Just a bunch of small crimes just to get some money, not raise any. Let's do it. All right, stealth. 12. Ooh.
Ooh. All right, so I think, make your way inside, but do unfortunately manage to just trip an alarm on one of the cabinets that you're robbing from, and so there is that as going off as you now need to just grab everything you possibly can, break open everything you possibly can. Next check is going to be either dexterity using thieves' tools or intelligence using hacking tools.
Thieves' tools.
Cool.
Try and bring that alarm down.
Remember that dex check with the thieves' tools.
All right.
19's a good check. All right. Awesome. So you're cracking things open, trying to disable the alarm, giving yourself a bit more time before the authorities arrive on the alarm being triggered. They may think it's a false alarm if it was so short as that you managed to disable it.
Yeah, like in the you have like, what was it, like the 5 to 10 seconds after it goes off to like.
I've literally been the person they call for a pub in London when the alarm goes off, because I live right nearby, and providing you do it quick enough, no one comes along. But there was an alarm that took ages, and the cops actually did show up. So occasionally they do help here.
I've definitely had to make the run of like punching in the keypad like across the office and like
every day.
Every day like,
that used to be me. Yeah,
yeah,
but you got a minute.
Yeah, like you have like 10 seconds. Just punch the thing.
What's the code? Shit.
I don't want to call it.
No, exactly. I just want the alarm going off, fucking loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so cracking open anything you can in order to grab it. The last check is either intelligence, espionage, wisdom and perception, or charisma, deception.
Deception.
Okay. So maybe someone's shown up from the store, and you've got to convince them that you're meant to be there.
Yes.
This is an alarm check. Good, you passed.
Just routine checks for the system.
Absolutely.
Everything looks great.
Yeah.
You just have to act like nothing's wrong. You just have to act like nothing's wrong. And
exactly. You can say pretty much anything, providing you act okay. This is going to be great now when we watch this. Deception.
Let me see, do I? This should hopefully... 23.
23 is great. Okay, so with 2 successful checks, you make out with half of the payouts. So you make out with $5,000.
Excellent.
You didn't manage to grab as much as you'd like, but you managed to fob your way out, and you've not been made or nicked, as we'd say colloquially here. Nice. Okay, Sherlock.
Nothing really here for me to do until we get on the ground.
You can make your way to London.
Yeah, it's pretty much get there, and if anything, he is going to try and see if the nice Italian place over on the Thames in that little like artist quarry by the National Theatre is still there, and get the wild mushroom risotto and just like try and contact folks.
Yeah.
He takes in the sights.
Oh no, absolutely, sure. Unfortunately, the South Bank is not as forgiving for independent restaurants anymore, and it is all It's all chains. We're literally talking about my old stomping ground, so it's all old. It's all chains now. Best Italian you can get is some chain Italian restaurant.
no.
It's not too
No.
bad, but it's not
Oh.
great. Otherwise, you can take your chances with the like the little food vans, like the little places, little pop-up places.
He will take a cab because this one place still freaking exists. Damn it. He's going to take a cab. It's getting late, but he might be able to make it there in time. He's taking a cab over to the tower because there is this little kiosk that does fish and chips exceptionally well.
Nice.
Like it's still wrapped in newspaper. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
So get there in time before they freaking close. Get that and get something in him as he is just waiting to see who crops up.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make contact with Nyx for sure. Susie said, "Oh, I had dinner as well, but now I want a chippy tea." Well, Havel makes contact. So we can make contact on a secure line that runs through the Hex network. He's managed to kind of open some back doors, and I can get it through to you. So, silhouetted by the uplighting on the Tower of London near this chippy, you take the call.
Oh, nice to see some familiar faces, or at least hear them.
And you are thankfully right where I need you to be.
Oh, it's that kind of day.
Well, along with Nyx's information gathering and some of your work, I do have somewhat of a briefing for you. And you were all contacted. So Nyx, Sherlock, I'd love you guys to meet up. You can be, on taking the briefing on this phone just outside the Tower of London. Right outside the Tower of London, there's actually not much. It's quite a big, busy main road and like a little tube station just nearby. So now that the tourists have all gone home for the day, you've got a fairly quiet area to actually sit and take the call. Ope, on a plane bound for Chicago, I guess. You can take the call secured, but through the Wi-Fi signal of the plane. Athrena, taking the call privately after, or just during the clinic. Well, actually, no. Hang on. If it's evening in London, it needs to be nighttime in the thing. So. Taking a moment from, and actually probably stepping out for a moment from your tent where all the bunks are for the staff. There are still a couple of kids running around in tents, just around some tents a few rows over, even though it's quite late at night. And there are a couple of people still just milling about up and down, but you can take the call as well. And basically, he says, it is good to speak to you again. I think I have a lead on something that all of you will be very interested in and be a good position to be in. London, England, is playing host to one of a number of simultaneous protests in cities around the world against the commodification of data and the personal information in a movement that has been dubbed the ID riots by the Hex media machine. The United Kingdom have its own grievances too about the increased use countrywide of facial recognition software by its border force and British police forces, with the Metropolitan Police coming under the most pressure. The ID riots are being attended by a number of different people, a number of different groups. They're quite disparate. The largest of which, however, is known as Info Redacted, a protest group with a history of direct action spilling into violent protests in the past, and intelligence intercepted by British intelligence agencies and policing from private messaging has revealed a real and probable threat to the safety of these protests. Now, these protests have the involvement of intelligence contractors like Argus and Acre Digital Surveillance, and it gives us an opportunity to infiltrate the British intelligence establishment and get a possible lead on Smythe. I have a bad feeling about the intelligence that's being intercepted by the authorities here. At least the stuff that we've managed to get our hands on via Hexi. It reeks of infiltration and astroturfing. So there is definitely another force at work here. When you touch down, Athrena, when you head over, you will see, and I'm giving you Nyx, Sherlock, the data that we've managed to grab from various briefings. The Joint Intelligence Services in the UK, MI5, GCHQ, have intercepted encrypted communications via hex messaging between members of the privacy group Info Redacted. But they haven't managed to decrypt all of the data. It looks as if Info Redacted is planning for violence. Their leadership figures plan on vandalizing targets along the route of the protest in an effort to whip up the crowd and ensure the government can't ignore their demands. Equally, because of all the masks being worn and the paint that spoofs facial recognition, they also think they can get away with it. The locations of interest that have been pinpointed via the intel that's been gathered via these messages mention key locations: Lancaster House, the National Gallery, Downing Street, the Houses of Parliament, all within reach of the protest march. If you can, look more into the data that we have gathered and infiltrate the protests. See if my suspicions are correct. See if someone is stirring up Info Redacted, or if they are indeed working off of their own means. Any questions?
Not for me.
For Info Redacted, you have names of noted members, leadership, or a location as to where they hang their hats locally. Local meetups, message boards, etc.
All, ironically, on the Hex network. They are still part of the surveillance capitalism machine, but they are just trying to fight against it. Hex tolerates these kinds of groups, small groups that they feel if they can monitor and change the behavior of, it is better. It's better to have eyes, clear, open eyes on what your enemies are planning than just scrub them out altogether, send them underground, and not be able to survey what they are saying. Zachary Daniels is the leader of Info Redacted in the United Kingdom. He goes by the handle Tuck Revolver, but his whereabouts are difficult to establish. We believe he may be living or traveling between various different squats around either London and outlying towns. We have an ID as well on Bryony Riesling, a populist organizer with info redacted. She goes by the handle Ruby Fink. And the communications are with a third user, Matteo Poeta, goes by the handle Zombie69. Matteo seems to be the one whipping up Zachary. But that's all I have for you at the moment. The data is with you and Nyx now. And Athrena, when you arrive, that encrypted data will be available for you as well. Since I want to transmit it to one location. So Nyx, this is on your... Sherlock, this is on your device. And there, locally, please share it. But sending it across the Hex network is difficult.
One last thing. I don't expect you to have this intel now. But given what this smells and looks like, I need details on local PD and their problem children. Give me the name of every single cop that has a violent history. I need those names, as well as anyone who's possibly on a take. If we're going to work this right, we need to work it from both angles.
The visual image that you've got, Ope, it's optional for you, obviously, or you might want to transfer it to your glasses if you're on the flight. Athrena, yeah, nice. Athrena, it's up to you as well what kind of visual you want to get. But from the look of its camera, it's one of those proper zoom meeting shots where the camera's kind of facing up a little bit, maybe from a laptop or a device on a desk. It looks like he's in a very dark room. This is very different from his offices back in Zabrovnia. It looks like he's kind of gone underground or in a safe house, something like that. So, yeah, he is definitely working this from the shadows or has had to lay low or had to go underground. He says, I will try. And then there is a disturbance somewhere from behind him, and you kind of hear this indiscriminate speaking that at first is in quite kind of hurried and quite loud, and then it's kind of shushed, and then there's kind of this intense kind of whispered conversation from behind him in a different language. And then he's looking around kind of a bit disturbed, but he says, with the information that you have, you can hopefully get some inroads into the Metropolitan Police. They have a huge force. It's the largest in the UK. It may not be easy, but perhaps there may be some contacts I can give you. And then it's basically starting to be kind of pulled and hurried out of the safe house. And so he kind of turns. He's off screen for just 1 second. He turns back and then he just says, "Good luck." And then the screen just goes blank.
Are we still all on the call together though? Like, is it like one of those "you're now the host" kind of deals?
Yeah.
I love it, like Sherlock's now hosting.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, that's fun.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
I will, however, say that definitely from Athrena's perspective, Athrena, you will know this may not be secure anymore.
Oh yeah, the second Havel drops, Athrena is out. She's like, nope. Goodbye.
Okay. Well, seeing Athrena go out, that's enough for Sherlock to go, okay. That's dropping the call is side up. Oh, it's not secure.
Yeah, so
Okay, everyone.
Call is yeah, I love how Nyx just slots that in just before Sherlock's like, oh no. He's like, take care everyone. And then it cuts off. And Ope, your the call is ended, it's like and then the screen flips up on your glasses.
Well, the band's back together. That's nice. And then I'm just gonna go over my files about the shady cargo train from Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. I'll get you a little bit more details to show next time on a kind of
I know. Like this is perfect. This is the exact kind of breadcrumb that he's gonna obsess about. It's just like,
unlucky for you, you're heading to O'Hare Airport.
yep. So there's a murder that needs to happen.
But there's an international flight that needs to be taken first.
Yeah, I know. It also, ow, my shoulder! I need somebody to look at it. Like, he's trying to play tough guy, but every now and then he's like, "Fuck."
Definitely. All right, friends, that's where we'll wrap it up for today. We'll set the scene. We've got some beautiful little downtime actions and some breadcrumbs left for you. We're all ready for next week. I hope you're ready for some intense Google mapping, because London's in 3D. So we can hover over it. We can do all sorts of nonsense. It's going to look proper spy-y. But I'm going to put you up in a really dodgy safe house in East London. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. Some dodgy rogue landlord.
Best London.
Best London. East London, best London.
I'm surprised you're not putting us in some like hostel right on the Thames. That's like
it's far too open. No, we need a safe house. It's going to be a dodgy flat rented out by a rogue landlord to the anti-hex agency, whatever the fuck Havel is. God. It's got rats the size of cats, and
God, I hope
an old 70s gas cooker.
I hope
not much
Havel's,
else.
I hope Havel
Smell it.
got more, cold people since last time.
Did we ever ask what we're getting paid for this, or like what we're getting out of this?
Do it for the cause, brother. No pay here.
No, I'm getting paid in revenge.
Exactly.
Spite and revenge, and whatever small.
Don't worry, Noir. Three will hook you up. We'll do a little together. Our forces combined, we might be able to pull off a corporate thievery.
If we all get together, the murder parents will take the twins to commit a crime, to get some money.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's is
a little bit of a murder son. I don't know if you saw Oak get down with chakra.
No. You guys go beyond murder. You're the disaster twins. We have this established now.
We did blow up a power station.
You did.
I'm
surprised that you didn't do the
caused nuclear problems. You are the disaster twins.
I'm surprised they didn't stick you in like the relief for the disaster that you caused.
Shit, yeah, that's what I should have done.
It's like, oh, feel guilty. Oh, look what happened.
We did pause capitalism for like 5 minutes. That felt good.
Yeah, now it's just like,
yeah.
You've got another chance. You're in the city of London. It legitimately is the fucking world capital of money laundering, if you really look into it. Yeah.
Can cause some
So
damage.
one thing I want to say to you guys is that, yeah, we've got this mission. Yeah, you've got this remit. It's not like Mission Impossible, here's the mission, we're just going to work on the mission. You guys, I want to make this a little bit more open world for you now. Okay, so you're going to lead me rather than I'm going to lead you.
This man's not our boss. We spared his ass from getting killed.
Exactly, right? So this is about your revenge. This is about the cause. This is about getting back at Hex, finding the cabinet and fucking them over. However you want to do that, I am here for. I will work it out somehow. So you look into this protests. The protests are going to happen. It's up to you guys how you want to interact with them and how you want to approach what you can dig up about them, and what might be happening behind the scenes there. You can start digging into... We can basically do a more uptimey version of those downtime actions. Like if you want to start looking for contacts, tapping people up, getting more information, peering into Hex using what devices you've got and the software that Athrina's got, and figuring out where the puzzle is here in London. Aside from that, it's completely up to you. So, yeah.
Excellent.
I only have 3 ranger. I only have 3 levels of ranger, and I already love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and you're gonna need more money, more resources necessarily for the stuff that you want to build, or the stuff that you want to put together, especially Ope's gadget habit.
Well, do you know what is in London? The crown jewels. They'd be
You're
worth a bit
not
on the
stealing the
block.
crown jewels.
Those are
Oh,
far
come
too-
on.
That'd be
No,
far
we
too
steal.
hot
No,
to-
those are the fake ones. We steal the real ones. We go and find the real
No.
ones, and then we go.
If we're stealing anything, we are going to the museum.
Let's still
We are liberating a bunch of artifacts and just happening on the black market to sell them to the right nations. Like,
I'm into this.
I'm for that heist, as well as shaking down every single corrupt official and cop that we can. And if they don't get shaken down, we leave some bodies in the river. It's going to be a delightful time.
You asked me, like, you know, which cops here are bent, which cops have got like a violent history. You're talking about the Met, buddy. We have had a bunch of headlines
That's
recently
something
where
you get a lot of
like
names.
it's you got to whittle that.
Hey,
You got to
but-
whittle that down for me. It's not
Don't
exactly
worry,
the
we
most
can-
reputable police.
We can 2FA the police now, Sam. You know, we get pulled over by a copper. No, only women. If we get pulled over by a copper, we can call the police and be like, "Hi, is this a real copper?" And we'll 2FA the police.
It is
How
bizarre
good is that?
sometimes, right? So I was at this very, very short story before we wrap up. I was working at this pub. The chef got his motorbike nicked from out the back of the thing. I got a call because he'd called the police and I wasn't party to this. They'd called back on the pub's landline, and they were like, "Can you get so and so to call us back? It's the police." And I was like, "What?" I'm working in like southeast London, like dodgy as fuck. Like someone's just calling me up and saying they're the police. I'm like, what? Literally just like, so what's your badge number? What's going on here? I'm really fucking confused. Really weird. So yeah, it's really, really, really become a thing here now that it's like you're not sure exactly who to trust kind of thing, unfortunately. So that has been horribly defunded, so the police don't do fuck all anymore around here. It's great.
So, no, I pretty much it's Sherlock's not in his own country. Yay. And I'm not getting paid. Yay. So anyone who's slightly dodgy, it's open season.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
We're in London. I just would like to stress, it's a very dodgy city. I don't know if you've heard.
It's open season.
The Thames is going to be red by the end
We
of
have
this.
been unleashed.
Some poor fucking mudlark. I'll be recording his little YouTube video, finding clay pipes and then finding 6 bodies.
I just want to see the group's face the first time they see Hope scope somebody with chakra.
Good.
It's been a long time since London's had a proper murder spree. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
The murder mom and dad are going to do it as well, aren't they? Oh,
They are.
God.
They're going to kill everyone in London.
Yeah, they are. Oh.
Fine, leave the north alone. That's the good bit of England. Fuck the south. Just as long as we
Oh,
leave the
hey,
north
no,
alone.
hang on now. British
What?
GM here. It's not just going to be, oh, we're in London because that's the only place we know from the movies. I know what the UK is like. We might go on a little tour. We might even go to Leeds. Who knows?
Oh, you can make fucking nuke leads for me. It's shite.
If we're going to have a tour of the UK, I just ask a couple of places. I need to get into a knife fight in Glasgow, and
Let's get in a knife fight.
I need to have a Naki Draggy in one of the closest in Edinburgh. That's like 2 things on the list.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. In this timeline, in the short future, Scotland may have seceded from the UK at some point. Who knows?
Good for them.
Good for them.
for them.
But this is all you're going to get now. Now that we've set this in London, I'm just going to be like salty about the UK every single stream.
We are
Plague
here
Island
to-
over there.
We are here
Plague
to mine
Island.
the salt.
Yeah. All right. We best
Oh,
wrap up.
Manchester.
Otherwise, it's just going to completely derail. All right, folks.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me again. I was looking forward to this very much, and you guys absolutely delivered on my expectations of like little things, what you wanted to do, what you wanted to investigate. Absolutely loved it. It's an opportunity now to go around, just let us know where you are on the internet, if you want to be followed, and what you're up to next, if you've got anything cool coming up, or if you want to plug anything in particular. Noir, what are you up to nowadays? The last we spoke, really, you had the whole Gen Con thing going on.
Oh, I don't have Gen Con going anymore because it's over. But what I do have is PAX U. I can say that a panel that I was invited to has officially been accepted. So we're gonna do some talking about safety tools and how to make them cool. Nice. Other than that, later today, you can find me over on Chromatic Chimera for Woven Realm, our 13th age game, which is a good time. I play a big old dumb dragon himbo. It's great.
I think we got a raid from him on Saturday when we were doing our downtime stuff for After the Fire.
That was cool. Actually us with critical misses.
Oh yes.
Because I was talking about you guys during our morning ritual show. Yeah. Last week our guest was Brutal Danny, the internet Timbo. This week we have Cypher, Tanya DePass, and that's going to be a
very
good
cool.
Time.
Very cool.
Speaking of Cypher, that's who I'm on the panel with at PAX Unplugged, and also on Sundays. Check out Rivals of Waterdeep. It's on its 11th season. It's an amazing show, and I am the producer on it, which is why I'm freaking out about my computer. I need to fix it soon.
I believe in you. I think you get it sorted. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I've got the motherboards coming tomorrow, and I was just like, fuck, I gotta get thermal paste and all this other stuff, but we'll make it work. Which is a reminder, hey, I've got a coffee / the articulate. If you want to help me out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Was not expecting this expense. But other than that, yeah, I'm bringing back Dungeons and Deep Dish, which is my one-on-one talk show, which is followed by a one-on-one one-shot. And I am going to be on Kill All Monsters podcast, where we talk about doppelgangers and how they're not really monsters. But
I've heard a clip of that. That was so interesting.
Yeah, like doppelgangers, they're just trying to do their best, and everybody's like, they're monsters, and they're like, why though?
Yep.
Like, I'm just, this is the last thing I want to say on it. Wizards has never given them a culture. Wizards has never given them anything more than just saying, hey, they're bad guys, go kill them. Like, a doppelganger culture would be dope. And spoiler alert, I'm writing one. So get ready to check that out.
It's cool, man. That's super cool. Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to see it. Awesome. Susie, where are you? What are you up to?
I am, as ever, all over the internet at Susanna Grace, and I do video game streaming when I'm not here, which I'm here a lot, but when I'm not here, I'm at twitch.tv/Susanna Grace, where I am playing a lot of Back for Blood, Phasmophobia, we did some Valheim, but I don't know, I'm like, I need to mix up my games a little bit, like have like maybe an RPG Monday or something where I'm playing like a single player game, because I really like digging into them, so who knows. And then when I'm not doing that, I am can't talk about that, doing After the Fire tomorrow, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's our Game of Thrones campaign, where I play Lady Miria Sand of Ironwood with my sexy new shield, and everything is terrible. I saw that head shake, Sam. She's earned that name. She's fucking wow. Brutal, mean. But yeah, everything's terrible. We're doing the second Blackfire Rebellion. So for those who know Westerosi history, ours is much more impressive than the actual second Blackfire Rebellion, which was just true. At a tournament. A couple of people were like, we're going to do something. And then they didn't. But we've actually, we got troops. I've taken over a house. We're going to kill some princes, probably, maybe, hopefully, and siege some places. Look, we also need to find out where a Faceless Man is. But anyway, I can go on and on about After Fire forever. That is a fucking kick-ass campaign, so come in tomorrow for that. And then I think that's it for me.
Who knows? Awesome.
I don't know. I'll cry about it on Twitter if something happens.
To be true to the series, you guys should just half-ass the last 3 episodes. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I don't think we physically could do it. And if we did, Millie would kill us.
My GMing style feels called out right now.
Oh no, I'm saying you guys are better than the actual TV.
No, I know.
Oh, so
I
much
feel
better.
that. I feel that. Like, yeah. Anyway, Pope, save us.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of my silly face, you get a number of opportunities. Coming up next is Sunday over on Weave the Tale, where we continue on with Mutants and Masterminds, Paradise City Stories. They're in the Mad City. They're absolutely split up all ways from Sunday. They desperately need to get back together because Dr. No One's probably going to try and kill them all. So if you want to see a group of heroes flail about terribly, almost as terribly as this bunch, in an extra dimensional space made of nightmares, come on down. We'd love to have you. Also, this is the season of charity. So a lot of different streams you're going to be seeing are going to be doing charity drives as we get into November. Over on Valdrian's channel, she's doing an entire weekend for Extra Life starting on the 5th of November. You can catch actually me on that channel 3 p.m. Eastern on the 6th playing the Spy Game, doing a one-shot of the Spy Game. So
Typical.
you can see me play someone not nearly as awful, and I'm going to play one of the pre-gens. And I have to be a face, and I have to talk to people. So we'll see if.
Oh no, you're going to be
works.
terrible. Come on now.
Considering that pre-gen, but I might be able to talk my ass off, but Roll20 might just think, nah. So we'll probably see that Walter PPK get used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But please tune in for that. Give where you can, when you can. If where it's Extra Life, I know there's a number of charities going on for charity drives for like mermaids, and also just like you see these wonderful people that if you like what they do, say like Noir with the Kofi, if you can give a little, it goes a long way, both financially and also like that emotional boost that somebody actually cares about you and your work. That's huge. So if you can, give. And thank all of you, whether it's you're watching live on YouTube, wherever you are. Story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Thank you all so much. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Lynn, what are you up to lately, apart from these lovely illustrations?
Thanks. Yeah, catch me on Twitter for Twitter Flying Cirrus, where you catch my art. And honestly, the other things are probably Gundam stuff and Final Fantasy 14 photo stuff, which is stuff that I love. And on Saturday, you catch me next on Wandering DM, where I play a Kitsune Godling in a Scion campaign, where I try to be good. I try to be like, the good person. I caused too much chaos last time by getting them fatefully linked to an angry sailor Willem Dafoe. So like an angry sailor Willem Dafoe.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, she tried to do a good thing by like destroying a ship, and the way that fates work with gods and linking like people, they got an angry drunk Willem Dafoe, who is a nemesis. So
cool. Good for him.
It's great. I tried doing good things and backfired. It backfired horribly.
Hey, now hang on. That's my operating thingy. Anyway, people trying to do good things and me making it bad. Oh well, okay. Well, I am RPG Webby around the internet, but you can follow us around the internet at Follow Black Cats or Black Cats Gaming, where you will find info about all of the games that we make, including this here game, the Spy Game. We kickstarted it, we made it, we backed it. There's actually books. There's one back there. And you can get hold of it at blackcatsgamingshop.com if you so wish, as well as Modifius.net and other reputable local gaming stores. It is out in distribution, which is freaking awesome. So if you do want to support your local store as well, you can go and grab it from there, or you can grab it if you get it from us direct from our shop. It does benefit us more. So if you do love our stuff and you haven't got a copy yet, please do grab yourself one. It is a lush. We also have a bunch of other stuff on offer. At the moment, I think it's still on sale on DM's Guild. We have a little PDF called Dreams, Nightmares, and Half-Remembered Meetings. And that is all about kind of weird, dreamy, kind of nightmarish, no shit, kind of monsters and encounters and other bits of equipment like potions and even kind of scents, like stuff that you actually smell and sniff as magic items, all from the weird mind that is James, which is the other part of Black Cats, apart from me and Susie. Yeah, super odd. Properly nightmarish. So if you want something that's a little bit different, a little bit extra, then do grab that. And it's going for only a few bucks, I think, at the moment, thanks to the sale. We've also got a little thing that I wrote, a little one-pager called fucking Adventures of the Takeaway Delivery Drivers. It's all about all of your folks who deliver like Uber Eats and stuff like that, except they've got to fight monsters to get their delivery to where it needs to be. You can heal by eating the takeaway, but of course the people who you get the takeaway to eventually maybe are a bit pissed off that you've eaten half the takeaway. It's a good, fun little 2-3 hour thing you can crack out at a convention. You can even print them out, fold them up like little takeaway leaflets. That is your character sheet and your rulebook all in one. So grab that. It is literally pay what you want. So you grab it for free if you really like, or if you want to throw us a couple of bucks, it really does help us keep the lights on and keep the wolves at bay here at the little company, little indie that we've got going on as well. Otherwise, you can see us streaming right here. Please do check us out tomorrow for After the Fire. It is the final season of our 2-year-long Game of Thrones campaign. It is juicy as fuck. And if you were disappointed with Season 8, come and watch us. Catch up on YouTube as well. If you want something to binge, it's all on YouTube. Crack through it. Get up to us for Season 6. And I promise that you're in for an amazing time. At the moment, the players are blowing me over with what they're like up to and what they want to do. I could not write a conspiracy or shenanigans on this level. It's literally thanks to all of them. We've got such chaos going on. The original founding house and holdfast that we started the campaign with is now under siege by one of the other player characters. Well, technically an NPC. He got to do it. And Susie is about to go and, spoiler alert, go and find out that her betrothed is dead because one of the player characters killed him. It's
my sister.
Her in-character sister is literally on that level, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you want some real juicy fruits, check us out tomorrow. And occasionally we'll do like a Saturday or another kind of weekday stream where we do some downtime actions, which is weirdly just as juicy. I didn't think we could handle that, but apparently somehow we made that happen. And now we're finding out what the after effects of that are actually in-game properly. Otherwise, we're back here next Wednesday for more HEXCRAWL. And who knows, because we're working at the moment on our next Kickstarter, which we successfully funded, Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, which is a eldritch horror crossed with pirates, golden age of piracy style game, all swashbuckly and eldritch horror. So if you like your Cthulhus and you like your seafaring, check that out as well. Late pledges or info about the late pledges will be coming up soon, but you can go to a late pledge link to find out more if you want to sign up to hear first about when that goes up. So yeah, and that's about it from us. And this is the point where I go, shit, I haven't got someone to raid because I completely forgot. Susie looks scared because she didn't look either. So we're just gonna go. Sorry, we're not gonna pass on the love. We'll fucking figure ourselves out for next week, and we'll get our asses in gear. But I can't wait to unravel what the fuck you guys do in London. So with that, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time, hopefully tomorrow for After the Fire. Bye everyone. Bye now.